Walking Macau Streets. Dear Lord, show me a sign. Give me a map. Oh yeah.
The cavernous. There's a guy right here. You're gonna see him in a minute, but he's always at that door, and we're gonna walk all the way to the then this one is this temple right here as well. So let me just go behind the temple. And I think the Patane street that we were on, I think it just follows underneath. So maybe that would be a nice conclusion, just to come over here to the side. And okay, so behind me is called Patane Street. So I'm going to describe this whole little area. And this is a very long street, but there goes by some really amazing stuff. It kind of follows Camoes Park, and it starts out over by the water over here. So I'm going to give you a little idea of exactly what's in this area. And then we're going to follow this road right here, and that's going to be probably it's going to go all the way to the base of Camoes Park. So we have kind of a big trip ahead of us. So stay tuned, and we're going to see another part of Macau, and I'll tell you a lot more soon. Okay, so yeah, Patane Street is behind me. There's a lot of interesting stuff around here, so let me grab you, and then you're gonna get the front view that I can see. And the first thing you're gonna see is all this little labyrinth of interesting stuff along here, but we're gonna be following this street in a moment. But this area, Patane, used to be its own village, so there's kind of all these interesting side streets everywhere. And some of these streets will lean all the way towards the ocean, because what we're on now used to be the ocean would be down that direction. And we're going to be walking down this little alley right here. If you can see, there's a peixe is fish, like fish lane, pedra, all kinds of interesting stuff. So our street is going to be around the corner here. You can see this interesting building too. It says 1968, so it's just a little thing, and I think they're probably playing mahjong in there. I heard some dice and such, or some the sound that makes. Oh, they're in there. So actually they're at the base. So kind of interesting. So we're gonna follow this one right here, Rua de Patane, and you got some other alleys that go down this way. So this whole alley, this whole area, so that's our target street, Rua de Patane. So they're right over there. So they're making some. So we're gonna follow this street. So basically Patane used to be a little village, basically a Chinese village that was right outside. There's all these little alleys in here too that are kind of interesting. Used to be just outside the gates of Portuguese Macau. Huh. There's actually lots of little stuff that I'm not really familiar with. But yeah, there's a little beco over this direction. There's escada is like stairs. So you got the Caracal stairs, you got the Muro stairs. But I don't want to get sidetracked off of our street, because Patane Street is a long street. So it starts out over by this village, but then it basically goes along Camoes Park, would be to the right. And so you can see parts of Camoes Park up that way. So that's kind of the wall that goes around it. And then this whole side, I think, like, historically, they built this along the side of this Camoes Park, which is a little bit upland. It's like up on a hill. So then you start getting this really cavernous. There's a guy right here, you're gonna see him in a minute, but he's always at that door. He's always looking around. We're gonna walk by him. He's looking, he usually looks that direction, so just kind of capture the feeling of this narrow streets. welcome. So that looks like maybe youth hostel or something. And then must be some kind of youth hostel, because look, they got, this is kind of for tourists, right? So you can do that, angel wings. This is our Patane street. That be youth hostel up there? Could be. Okay, so let's go. Then yeah, you always see this guy. He's always looking down this way. So we'll walk by him as well. And we're basically gonna walk straight ahead, and we're gonna walk all the way to the look. So we're gonna walk all the way to the Camoes Park. That's kind of interesting right there, right? That's really common to have those kind of things like that. So let's just kind of capture the feeling of that street. So this is basically our lane and just goes all the way down that way, and then it goes into that Patane area. So let's walk back this way again. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, this road. There's a lady peeking out of this window over here too. Kind of that stuff off the sides, that's common in Macau. It's like little things, like sometimes shrines, different things like that. Got a little temple right here. I don't know if that's... Let's keep on going. This one is also marked as something cultural for the city of Macau. So this is this little Patane street. And if you can see up here, that goes up to Camoes Park. So we're gonna walk towards Camoes Park. We're gonna go all the way around. I think they're also playing some games in there too. They're playing mahjong, I think. All kinds of interesting stuff in here. The living rooms open right up into the street. So when they open up the doors and leave the doors open, so now you're kind of getting right into the middle of this other part. So so that area that we were just at, that area is kind of there's Entre Campos. So this whole area is very dense with kind of 6-story buildings for the most part. And then this is this narrow little alley that just follows the Camoes Park kind of side, and it goes out to the ocean as well. So okay, let's keep on going. This is kind of an interesting little spot too. This little spot on the corner. So I'm gonna capture this sign right here in a moment. So that's Patane Street, Rue du Patane. I'm just gonna step back for a moment and just kind of capture this street corner because it's kind of interesting. Usually this one will often have people at nighttime, like older generation people that will hang out here, drink beer, eat on the corner. Actually, I always felt like the street was longer than it is, but actually it's only at 7 minutes and I've actually almost walked it. So it's actually not quite as long as I thought. It is going to come up to Camoes Park, so we are going to take it to the park. And then inside the park you'll see some interesting things of like bird cages, older people playing some games in the park. This is kind of interesting. MCT, Macau Koloan Taipa. And that kind of captures the whole feeling of it right there as well. So yeah, very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna keep on walking up. That one has some of that beauty of the street art. So they put street art like that. So let's just walk up this way. The Lisboa du Patane meets up kind of in this area. Let me just kind of highlight it real quick. But now you're kind of in the density of Macau side, which is mostly marked with these 6-story black buildings everywhere. And then you have a temple right over here, straight ahead. We're gonna walk right to that temple. That was our Patane Street. And then this one is this temple right here as well. So let me just go behind the temple. And so all of this is Patane Street right there. So this is actually the end of Patane Street. And we're gonna come up briefly. And we're just gonna follow the camera to Camoes Park. And then we're gonna end it. But just kind of give you a little context of Patane Street. It does start in kind of this labyrinth. A little labyrinth because it used to be a village. So when we started, there was a lot of little things around there, these little alley type streets. And now we're just in, kind of coming up to what historically would have been the mark of the Portuguese community. And so right straight ahead you can see St. Anthony's Church. And the Portuguese community would have started over on that side. And then this Camoes Park would have been maybe a little bit of like the frontier feeling back at the time. We're almost, and you also have all these little alleys like that too up in this area. So we're just gonna walk a little bit further into the park, and then we'll conclude the Patane Street. The other thing about Patane is there's some other streets inside Patane, and they follow the backside of Camoes. So we're along the front side at the moment, and the other side is the backside. And then you have that, it's like a traditionally little Chinese village called Patane Village. And now we're inside Camoes Park, and you'll have a lot of older people here, but anybody can come in, of course. Birdcage things over there. And then actually what's drawing me today is they have this Script Road Festival that's going on today. And I think today is the last day, yep, August 17, Sunday. Last night they had some photo. And that's what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not going to be filming it, but I'm going to be going up into the Casa Garden. And this basically is a building that's open to Script Road Literary Festival and other things for the community. Okay, and on that note, oh yeah, that's the Casa Garden that we just looked at right there. And on that note, I should film inside buildings, but our street today was Patane Street, so we're going to end it at the Casa Garden on the other side of it. And I think the Patane Street that we were on, I think it just follows underneath. So maybe that would be a nice conclusion, just to come over here to the side. And I think this Casa Garden had some history. There was some prominent person who lived here, of course. And I think we can just poke the camera to the side, and I think that's all Patane Street. So we're gonna go in there in a minute. Oh no, this is actually the cemetery. So a lot of famous people that's connected to, so the Patane Street would be on the other side of that wall. And then there's a little cemetery here, and this is, I think, the Protestant cemetery. And Patane would have been on the other side of that second wall. 2024. Let's check out Macau. Come on.